Hi, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Chef at Home. So today we have with us Chef Top. I believe he's somebody who will be familiar with you if you have been following our platforms because I mean we have been to his restaurants many times. Uh, yeah, and I even went to Taiwan last year. Yeah, is it last year? Yes. Yeah, for a special event. He did a pop up over there with our friend in Taiwan, and today we will be learning from him how to cook a very special dish, which he will review later. And meanwhile, while we are waiting for more people to join us, do share and like this video to get more of your friends to join us. And we are very thankful that you are joining us on this Friday evening. And I know nowadays there are so many live options for you to choose from, right? We are very thankful that you choose to stay tuned to us. Yeah. All right. So maybe now I will pass the time over to Eddie to give you more introduction about Jeff Top while he is preparing his cooking in the kitchen. Okay, Eddie.
Yeah, Top seems to be very busy. Yeah, because he wants to give you a good show later. So just shout out to all the friends who are watching now. Michelle, hello. My wife Lily, Danny, Winston, hello Winston. Cecil, hello. Chris, Uncle Li Hua. Yeah, my mom is also watching. So yeah, you have a lot of friends watching. Top,
Pressure's on,
lots
huh?
of friends.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. So anyway, Top is a good friend. So today's chat will be very fun. And honestly, I have been around the world with him cooking. We did a event at Kuching, East Malaysia before, my hometown. We did events in Taiwan, Taipei before.
Yeah.
And I'm with him all the way. So yeah, we've cooked a lot of delicious food for many people before in the last 2 years. But even though I know him very well, maybe the people watching do not know you that well, Top.
Okay.
And you look like a young man. So how old are you now?
I'm 29 now.
29? Yeah,
Yes.
young man. So can
Young
a
man,
29
really?
year can a 29-year-old man cook?
I hope
Uh,
so.
can you can you convince everyone that you have been cooking for a long time and your path from how you started cooking until now? Not too long, huh?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I've only started cooking when I was 17, but I've been in the F&B hospitality industry since I was like 15. I actually started as a waiter in the front of house, working part time. This is when I was in the UK. My stepdad he's British, so I was adopted by British stepdad. So he moved me to the UK to finish my higher education there. So yeah, that was when I got into hospitality. I mean, I was my parents are in the travel business anyways, so I was always in and out of hotels and stuff like that. Oh wow, my God,
Who's
look at that.
that?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. 2 years in the kitchen, I think. Yeah, that was probably when I was in London for my first real tough fine dining job. That was 2010, I think. So 9 years
So
ago
you
now.
were like 19 maybe?
Yeah, I think I was just turning 20.
Okay.
Um, and that was yeah, it was a very tough time. I mean, the kitchen in Europe uh is extremely. I mean, in Western countries, America might be a bit different because they have two shifts. But in Australia, in Europe, like London, France, is known to be some of the toughest places to work in the world. Purely for many reasons. Labor is a lot more expensive, so you have a lot less staff. The working hours are much longer, and they're considered normal there. So I would relatively start my day at around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't finish until midnight with no breaks, or maybe you had like half an hour in the afternoon. But for me, then it would be spent smoking a cigarette, having 2 double espressos just to stay awake, and yeah, don't get much time to eat. Ironically, so if you look at all the young chefs from Europe, if you look at anyone who's ever made it, they would look similar to that. They're all extremely skinny at one point in time. Well, not now, obviously, but yeah, back then, 9 years ago, it was a different story.
If London is such a tough place to work, then looking at you now, then Thailand must be such an easy place to work then.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, even in Singapore was having 2 days off is a bliss. People don't realize that, but I know that in Thailand, some restaurants still work 6 days, but there not a lot of places do lunch. And when you are working fine dining and you have 2 services a day, that changes the whole game. I mean, we started at 7 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6:30, just to be ready for lunch. And it's the demands. It's extremely tough. You're working, and the pace that you work as well. The pace that you work, the environment, the pressure, the details, everything is just so much more extreme. And like I say, in a kitchen in London, you would have 6, maybe 10 chefs maximum in almost small restaurants, whereas somewhere like in Bangkok, you can afford probably 20 to 15 to do the same amount of work. So it's just a different culture, working culture. I mean, we're not the only exceptions. If you look at it from a corporative side, if you went to Japan or Korea, they have a very different working culture there as well compared to Thailand and the rest of Asia. It was extreme. It was really, really good for me. But is there other ways of learning how to be a good chef? I'm sure of it. I'm sure. It's a dying tradition, having it being that regimented, being almost like an army. You either you do it perfectly or you die kind of a mentality. It's not the best way to teach, and I'm very happy I went through that personally. But it's something I would never apply to my own kitchen staff today. I mean, obviously there are lines that you don't draw or cross, but generally speaking, there's a much easier way to learn than what I've been through.
So you started off tough in the UK, and then you then made your way to one of the very familiar places that our viewers will be. You spent a couple of years in Singapore, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I spent 2 years.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
So basically, after some time in London, I realized I wanted to leave the UK to see something else, because I felt like working in a different restaurant in London was more or less doing the same thing. You had the same suppliers, especially when you got to a fine dining in. So the last restaurant I worked at was a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and we were using the best produce that anyone would get. It was the most expensive restaurant in London as well, and so we were using the best ingredients already that London had to offer and Europe had to offer. The cooking style was very unique, and I felt like a change of landscape would be more impactful than a change of just restaurant and immediate scenery. So actually, I had Canada, South Africa, Hong Kong, or Singapore as 4 possible destinations. And being Thai, I always had it somewhere in my heart that I would come back eventually. I didn't know when, but I knew that deep down I would return to Thailand. So Singapore and Hong Kong became the 2 most obvious ones. And yeah, I mean, I think, well, my partner at the time, she was a very tidy person, and she preferred Singapore because it was much cleaner than Hong Kong, which I'm sure a lot of people would agree with. So yeah, that's it. We went to Singapore, spent 3 months traveling, and then went to Singapore with no job, no apartment. I think I had like $600. We had $600 to our name to get us started, which in hindsight is a huge mistake. I had no idea how expensive it was. I did very little research. I just thought, we'll just rock up and make it work, and that turned out to be a complete nightmare. Ran out of money, and I literally had to get the first job I could. But very luckily, Poland was hiring at the time, so I sent my resume. Personally, dropped my resume, printed it out, went to the restaurants that I thought were really good. So sent it to Andre.
So that's Poland, right? Poland.
Yes.
Poland,
I sent it everywhere, but Poland was the one that gave me an offer immediately. So
where is Poland?
So Poland is under unlisted. It's under unlisted company, and it's in the Flower Dome. It's actually one of the most beautiful restaurants I've ever worked in. It's gorgeous, really, really amazing. and there's 2 floors. Upstairs is actually right in the flower dome, so you can see you're in the flower dome. You can see the flower dome and everything. And downstairs is more of the main restaurant. Upstairs is more like a terrace bar area. Yeah, ironically, I left London to go work for a London chef. At the time I joined the restaurant, it was Jason Atherton who was they call it chef patron of the restaurant. So he's a partner, but also the main chef who consults for the restaurant. Yeah, which is, I never thought I would do that. I thought I would be working for someone completely unknown into the London scene, and I ended up leaving London to go work for a London chef. But it turned out to be great because that's where I met my future wife. So not bad.
So anyway, Top, your boss is on now.
Oh,
your boss
is he?
is watching now. So we have to
Which
fast
one?
forward now, okay?
Which one? Now?
Julian.
Oh, I have many
Hi,
bosses.
Julian. Hello, Julian. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we have to fast forward to Thailand now. So everyone watching from Singapore, Top actually spent 2 years in the Flower Dome, cooking in the Flower Dome, in Singapore before he came back to Thailand. So in Thailand, you work for Freebird, which was my favorite restaurant, before it closed.
Oh, really? Your favorite?
Yeah, I go there the most, you know.
Ah, I know you went there a lot. I didn't know it was your favorite.
Yeah. And then, so my favorite restaurant is not here anymore. So don't ask me where my favorite restaurant is. And and now he's working for a restaurant called Mia. So before going to Mia, I have to say that Top has won a lot of accolades after he came back to Bangkok. He won the Thailand Tatler Generation T in 2018.
It's okay if I stop cooking, right?
No, it's not
No?
okay.
Wait.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he is also the Forbes 30 under 30 in 2019.
Yes.
Just in time before he turns 30. So
very lucky.
yeah. So a lot of things have happened for him in a short space of time after he came back to Thailand. And he was also the BK Magazine's Young Chef of the Year 2018. So,
Yes,
Top, maybe you can tell us a bit more about Mia Restaurant, just a little bit, okay?
Yeah, sure. So Mia Restaurant is a restaurant that's been open for just under a year now. We opened last June, and we do modern European food. So the idea was actually the owner was he used to be a chef, and we worked at actually not just one but 2 places at just different times. So in terms of thinking, you know, we have a very similar style of approaching the food. We have, you know, 2 same mentors. He was head chef at Jason Atherton's Social City restaurant, which is a very famous restaurant in London, in the heart of the financial district. Extremely successful in terms of one of the busiest restaurants that holds 1 Michelin star. So there are some restaurants that, you know, do 40, 30 covers a day. This one, they were doing 150, 180 while maintaining a 1 Michelin star standard. That's extremely difficult. So he was there for 4 years. He opened it up and got a star within 6 months. And then after that, he left, and now he's a restaurateur. So this is a first venture with him. So yeah, it was we met by mutual friends from Singapore actually, and then because he used to work at Dinner by Heston, and I had a friend who used to work there as well, so that's how we met. So as you may know, we were doing a 6-month pop-up for Terra, and he was there every dinner we had, and then after discussing for a while, we decided to join up with him and open Mia. So Mia is when we reopen, there's going to be a few changes. We're separating the 2 floors. Downstairs is going to be the same Mia that it was before. High tempo, quite loud music, casual food that Michelle and I would love to eat. You know, stuff that's delicate, like the tartare is still there. The beef Wellington is still going to be on. The salmon, that's the signature dish that we have now. And upstairs is now going to be a space more for us to really push the envelope of what we can do, technique-wise. So it's going to be more elevated. The problem we had with Mia before, I think they had really very different expectations. Some were expecting a very casual place, and it was a bit not casual enough for them. and then some were expecting a really sophisticated dining experience, and it was too casual for them. So now that we could split the two, it'll be managing people's expectation much better. I'm really excited. I mean, it's a beautiful restaurant. If you haven't been, it's a gorgeous house. A lot of work and thought has gone into the interior. So yeah, please come by.
Okay. So, okay. Now we move on to the current times.
Yeah,
I think through the last few chef at homes, we have talked a lot about how the COVID situation has changed the whole dining scene.
yeah,
So I don't really want to go into that, but more I want to go into how restaurants are reacting. Okay. Um, Mia is one of the restaurants which I think has been very creative in terms of how
uh-huh.
they reacted
Oh
to the
really? Thank you,
situation,
thank you.
because dining in is not possible because of the social distancing rules for a couple of months. So a lot of restaurants have to depend on takeaway and delivery. So um, there are a couple of ideas that Mia executed that I thought were very interesting. The first one is what you call the social distancing menu.
Yes,
Is that what you call? That means as a
yes,
customer, I get to choose a friend to dine with, and then I
yeah,
get to choose two menus, one for me and one for my friend. And what Mia will do is they will time the delivery so that both of us will receive the food at the same time, and
yes,
then we can
exactly.
eat the meal at the same time. And if we want to, we could do a FaceTime, we could do a Zoom meet, and we could eat together, even though we are not in the same physical location. So I
Yeah.
felt that that was quite interesting. So aside of what I said, is there anything you want to add regarding this idea? Top.
I mean, I think in under different, I mean, there was a lot of noise, a lot of happening, and I'm surprised it didn't take off. We were successful. We had I think 5 to 10 orders a day on just a social distance menu. I mean, worth value for money was also really important for this thing. But I think there was a lot of other noises going on, so people didn't really quite hear about it. But I thought the idea was fantastic. You can literally share a meal with a friend, just playing by the rules, virtually sharing a meal. So you can have a meal arrive at your house and your friend's house at the same time. But yeah, the feedback we've had from the orders that we've had have been fantastic. And no, the like you say, COVID. No one I think predicted the impact that it would have. A lot of restaurants had to change their game very quickly, almost overnight for some. And it really showed. I thought we had a lot of support from the customers, and it was great to see. It was really good to see, especially the regulars. The regulars would give us honest feedback. They would order repeatedly, even though we knew that they didn't have to. I mean, the difficult thing for us was we knew that the food we do in Mia wasn't something that the main population in Thailand would eat every day. It was a kind of a once in a while treat, maybe once a month kind of thing. People get together, friend's birthday or something. So, and for us to do delivery was a big challenge. We weren't exactly serving chicken rice or pork knuckle rice or whatever. So yeah,
But you were after that. So
we yeah. I mean, Michelle and I jokingly, we have always said, one day, no matter what, one day in the future, we would want to do a chicken rice shop. It's been my dream. Honestly, this is probably a more of a personal attachment dream than to open a fine dining restaurant. I've always wanted to have a chicken rice that has a scientific approach, and that's it. To serve chicken rice, no fancy, nothing, just like traditional Chinese chicken rice. But instead of using traditional cooking methods, you go complete opposite. You use modern, you use science, you use. When I say science, I don't mean foams and gels. I mean precision. That's it. That's all it is. Using the knowledge that we have to cook the chicken as precisely as possible to make it as moist as possible. Obviously, there are other factors. Like, I won't get into details, but there's a lot of other factors that go into the perfect chicken rice. But yeah, so we did a rice bowl instead. Next
yeah.
best thing. So
Okay.
we
Let me talk about it, because let me as a customer say my view about it first. because Mia is an expensive modern European restaurant. Okay.
Not that expensive. Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
definitely
quite
on the
quite expensive. Okay. And
yes. Wow.
and the last thing that you would think they will offer to you on delivery is a rice bowl.
It wasn't cheap though,
It's
the rice bowl. I mean, it
yeah,
was
it
good
wasn't
value.
cheap, but yeah. But for Mia to actually decide to go down that route, um, I feel is a brave but admirable decision, because survival is of the essence at that point in time, and they still made sure that they did a damn good job, because
Yeah,
I had hundreds of restaurants to choose to order food from every single day, every single meal. I didn't have to order from any restaurant more than once if I wanted to. But for this particular rice bowl, I made it a point to reorder it again because I loved it so much.
yeah. You ordered you 3 times. No, I think you ordered it more
I
than
forgot
once.
at least twice, but I ordered
Yeah,
many
at least.
bowls per time.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I mean
yeah.
it was we pride. I mean Michelle and I really pride ourselves into the staff food that we make. And sometimes like we get our staff to cook what they want to cook with given the ingredients we have. And like that satay sauce that they have is from one of the CDPs. And honestly, it's one of the best satay sauce I've ever eaten. And I'm like, wow, I'm sure people would pay for this. So it was like I said, it was things that we wanted to eat. And we take what we do very seriously, but we don't really take ourselves too seriously. We don't think that so the rice bowls it was a great play. You'll be shocked how many arguments I have with Michelle about the rice bowl. Like, we went into quite strict detail about the portioning, the size, the grain of rice, which sauce for what, the garnishes. Like, it was it was an intense week of research, and all just for rice bowl. So yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. I mean, the
I
owner,
think
I think he gave us like 5 days, which is quite short to do something completely out of the ordinary that we've never done before. So and to make it once is one thing, but to implement it into a restaurant and into a delivery system that we've never done before, it was a really good challenge for us. Kept us on our toes. But yeah, I pulled through. Consistency in Asian food is always the hardest thing, and for sure that was a challenge, especially in the stir fry, like the beef stir fry with the short rib that we had. That was probably the most difficult dish to get it executed right every time, even if I was making it or someone else was making it. We had to measure out the soy sauce, the sugar, the fish sauce, everything by gram. The paste was pre-done, but fried to order. And the way that we made it was, it was a lot of small things to keep in mind.
I think the reason why I made it a point to eat it again is because I know that Mia will not sell it anymore after they can open. So
Yeah,
it was really limited edition. Okay,
it
so
really, really, really was. We all said, like, no matter how good it got, no matter what it isn't us, it isn't Mia. And it was a really, I miss it. I mean, I genuinely thought, I know that it may sound biased, I thought the product was great. Of the 5 dishes, the mapo tofu, the salmon, the chicken satay, and the short rib stir fry, they were all solid dish. You were full. It was hearty, executed right. The produce we used were the same that we were using in a restaurant. So the salmon was fresh, flown from Norway. The short rib is from Australia beef. So it was like really, really good quality ingredients, just done in a very humble way.
so Wilbur,
Yeah.
is the floor very quiet?
Yes, very quiet. But before that, I just have to mention that if you think that the chicken rice bowl is very simple, right? That chicken breast is really not simple because it's seriously one of the best chicken breasts I've ever eaten. Yeah, and
Yeah. No, I
yeah,
mean, honestly, that's a topic for another day. Like, I have so much respect for chicken rice, the dish as a whole. I honestly have so much respect for it that it's kind of like fearful to do something that everyone's, when as a chef, when you create a dish that no one's ever had before, they have nothing compared to, and whether they like it or not, they don't have anything to compare it to. So for them, as a chef, you can kind of get away with it. But when you do something like Benu, the restaurant Benu, 3 Michelin stars in San Francisco, when he started making dumplings and serving it in a 3-star Michelin restaurant and charging, I don't know how much the menu is, like $200-$300 a meal. The people were going batshit crazy. But it's when something, but it's like everyone knows it is the best. So yeah, that's how I feel about chicken rice. So one day I'm gonna go all out when I have the time and the resources to really, really, really nail it. Really, really get like everyone's approval that okay, this is. It may not be everyone's favorite chicken rice, but it's definitely the most moist. That is what I can get. In terms of water net loss from a chicken, you're gonna have no less not loss than this. So yeah.
Okay, looking forward to that, Top. Anyway,
yeah.
We are moving on. We are moving closer to top cooking. Okay,
before we
so
go, I'm gonna give a shout out to my Isle of Wight family. I don't know if they're watching. How can you see who's on this? I don't know. Is there anyone who has like English name in the audience or no?
Davide.
Oh, David is on?
Yes.
Really? Ah.
Yeah.
How can you tell who's on?
Okay. A lot of friends. Carol is on. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Carol.
Lily is on. Clarice is on. Michelle's aunt, Adeline, is on.
Oh, really?
So Art is also on.
Any Russell on? No.
Your mom, amazing Russell.
Suri Russell.
Yeah.
Amazing Russell is on. Okay.
That's it. Only my mom. Everyone else hates me.
Anyway, so
what's next?
So we just before you start cooking, just want to know because of the COVID, your restaurant didn't open during its normal hours for a couple of months. You had different working hours, and I think your life has changed a little bit. So of course, I think the restaurant is going to open soon. But do you have any thoughts or anything to share after these 2 months, which is a very special and unique period in our time?
What do you mean, like what has happened in the future, or what has happened in the last 2 months?
No, I mean for you personally, how has your life changed, and has it changed anything that your outlook in life or?
Oh yeah, I mean the first word that comes to mind is definitely appreciation. Today was the first day that I went out in a while, and the traffic was back to normal. That was the day, and there were, as you know, in Bangkok, the motorbikes are now driving up the sideways. In 2 minutes, I think I saw like 10 rules in traffic control being broken, and that was just in one junction. So, and before, a month ago, there was no cars. Bangkok was clean. Bangkok was clear. I could see outside my condo, more than 100, 200 meters, which is like such a rarity with the pollution here and everything. You definitely appreciate why things are the way they are. Why you definitely appreciate that. Of course, everyone always complains about the traffic in Bangkok. This is something that I find annoying. They always complain about it, but they don't know that without the traffic, you wouldn't get the result of the amazing city that it is. The reason I think one of the best things about Bangkok is the numbers. You can do so many things in the city because of the numbers that we have in all social classes and everything. So I definitely am going to be more appreciative of the small things, like cinema. I really, really miss just going out and watching a movie. I don't know how long. I think this is like the longest time I've gone without seeing a Marvel movie. I'm a total Marvel geek, and it breaks my heart. It's been too long since Endgame. So
it's not gonna come back soon,
Endgame,
man.
Spider-Man, sorry.
It's not gonna come back soon, man. You have to accept that.
Which is sad. It's like hopefully sooner than later though. But we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get cooking. I think many people are waiting.
Yeah.
To see you cook.
Me talking, can we actually see the guy cook now? All right. Okay, so the dish I'm making tonight is quite a weird one. It's a very easy thing to do, which I'll show you now. It's basically mushroom. It's a vegetarian dish. I mean, the first time I had this was it was from a guy from Nepal in London. He was a dishwasher. He was making staff meal, and it was literally mushroom, soy, and a type of pasta that they have. So that's it. But the good thing is that he uses brandy and milk, which is what makes it interesting. So this is a version of it with chicken thighs. So basically, it's different types of mushroom cooked down with chicken thighs, and then you put the mushroom stock, which is basically mushroom cubes with dry shiitake. And then the cooking liquid, instead of using cream or something or butter, you put milk. And the milk makes it lighter than butter and cream, so you can it has more body. And also because you season it with soy sauce and stuff, it gives it like a weird. It gives the soy a different dimensional taste. And because of soy and mushroom goes really well together, it really you basically can really season the mushroom really well, but the dish, because it's cooked in milk, not to be too salty. I hope that makes sense. And the brandy, obviously brandy with mushroom is a really good combination. And we use it two ways. We cook off the mushroom, and then right at the end we add it to season it as well. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Top, I need you to turn on the other screen
Is it
for
not
me
on
again.
already?
Yeah, it went off.
Give us a minute so that we can have another angle for you to enjoy the cooking a bit more.
Oh God. Okay. 2 seconds.
No battery.
Typical Top. Hey, Wilbur, maybe we can just show some
It's running out of
comments.
battery. My phone's out of battery.
Okay,
Give us a couple of minutes, everyone. Sorry.
I don't think we have any real comments, but there's a lot of friends saying hi to Pop.
So all the comments are fake.
Oh, Michelle was mentioning that you should visit Poland. And then you get to access Flower Dome FOC. Oh, that's a very good tip.
Tip for all the people in Singapore watching.
Mhm. By the way, I miss Michelle's apple tart.
Well, the other shoe's gonna come on in about a minute. I'm sorry, it switched itself off. I had no idea why. So should I just put the laptop down for now?
No.
No.
Yeah. Put the laptop down a little bit so that we can see your chopping board. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So yeah, I have my chicken thighs ready here. I mean, if you guys want to do this, I recommend you salting it the night before on the skin side, and then leave it in your fridge unwrapped. This way, you get a really crispy skin. I mean, even though it's in a wet sauce, it won't be like crunchy crispy, but the fact is you get better color, which is better flavor anyways. Always pre-season your meat the night before if you can. It just makes everything you do much better, whether it's fish, meat, pork, whatever you do. So then we have a mushroom here. We're using 2 different types of mushroom, shiitake and Paris mushroom. And chopped garlic, whiskey and milk, and a tiny bit of butter. And lastly, obviously, the pasta. That's it. That's all you need.
What pasta are you using
Very
today?
good vegetarian pasta option as well. I'm just using chicken because I like meat, but it's a very good vegetarian. And this is the mushroom stock that we made. It's literally hot water, a few dried shiitake, and a mushroom stock cubes.
Is your mobile phone on now?
No, it's not. Well, this is the thing with live, is that things just don't go to plan, right? Anyways.
Yeah.
All right.
You can. Yeah. Sorry, guys. This was not part of the plan.
So first thing I'm going to do is just sear the chicken. So you want to color your chicken skin side down for a rather long time. Don't be afraid to overcook the chicken. Because it's the reason I chose chicken thighs is that it stays moist even though if you overcook the meat. And I know a lot of people prefer chicken breast, but honestly, thighs are so much better. It's a cheaper cut, more tasty. And if you don't like the fat, just remove the skin. But for this dish, I would always recommend using the thigh. Obviously, on the other pot, we have the water for the pasta on. You get that going at the same time. I mean, including prep time, I think this dish should take you no more than 20 minutes from start. Like from getting your chopping board out at home, putting the water on to boil and everything, no more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
Is your phone back up?
Is your phone up?
I'll check now.
Yeah.
Okay, for those who are here right now, do feel free to leave your comments in the comment box
It's
below.
not. Maybe I should get Michelle's phone. Is that a better idea?
Yeah, maybe.
Can you send the link to Michelle? I'll get her phone on.
Yeah. You can continue cooking in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, for those who are here, do feel free to leave your comments in the comment box below. After Top is done with his cooking demo, we will be answering the questions from all of you guys. So if you have any questions you want to ask Top regarding cooking or whatever, or any topic that you want to ask Top, just comment in the box below.
Top, do we need any onions for this dish?
You can, but I don't.
So it's just garlic.
Just garlic is enough.
Okay. What are you doing now, Top?
I'm slicing some tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Okay.
Yes. So the tomatoes actually go in at the very end. We don't want to cook it out too much. We want to keep the acidity in the tomato to be like a counter seasoning for the saltiness of the mushroom and the soy. It gives a nice freshness. It's almost like adding lime juice or lemon juice into it.
Do you remove the seeds?
No. The seeds are the best bit. Never remove the seeds. It's yeah, the seeds and the inside of the tomato actually what has the most flavor and what has pectin. Pectin is when you cook the tomato down, it makes it sticky, which is why a lot of pasta sauces use tomato paste. Tomato paste actually doesn't have that much flavor, but people put it in sauces and stuff that you see in videos, mainly to make it thicker. So when you put it in a bolognese and stuff, the pectin is all in the tomato paste. That's it. So the chicken's been on now for about, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I guess. You can tell that it's starting to really be nearly ready when you hear the sizzling slow down. Obviously, when you put the chicken in the pan, a lot of sizzling happens because there's a lot of water. The moment the water is gone and you have less sizzling, that means you can check it to flip it. Less water, less sizzling. Yeah, I think another 20 seconds and then we'll be ready. I'm just going to move the camera a bit closer.
Your phone is down. Your phone is dead.
My phone apparently has been like dead. So you know when you charge it and it comes on like after a minute? I thought that was going to happen, but it's been charging for 5 minutes and it still hasn't come back on yet. So I have no idea what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
So as you can see, crispy chicken skin.
Beautiful.
So I just added a bit of butter in there just to help it cook. And the butter will help cook the chicken. And also, we want to what's called brown the butter. So when you brown the butter, it's basically you cook the proteins in the butter. It creates a Maillard reaction, which is the same reaction when you sear meat and give it color. The flavor of the cooked brown meat is the same as when you change the color of butter. Same reaction.
Top, we have a question from my friend Cecil. He asked, what are the mushroom cubes that you put into the mushroom stock?
What do you mean? The mushroom cube?
Yeah, is there any specification or a brand or something that you always use?
I use Knorr.
Ah,
I mean, I know a lot of people have issues with like seasoning with their MSG and stuff, but honestly, cooking at home, unless you're gonna go on out and make like real mushroom stock from scratch and everything, just use the made stuff. For me, I use that and add dried shiitake, and that one you can keep that for a really long time. You can even put it in the freezer. If you have those ice cube trays, I recommend you making a nice stock. Put them in the ice cube, and then you have it in the freezer. So whenever you need, just take 1 or 2 cubes out, and that's all you need really. So you don't use that much. So it's a waste to make it every time fresh for every pasta dish.
Oh, that's good.
So now you take the chicken out. As you can see, the pan's really brown. So this bit, a lot of people will add the garlic first. I don't. This the meat has made some color and stuck to the pan. We kind of want to add something to like deglaze that. So the good thing about mushroom, it has a lot of water. So this is what we're doing now, where we're just cleaning the pan with the mushroom and the natural mushroom water. So mushroom goes in. So as the mushroom goes in the pan, obviously the heat will make the water of the mushroom come out, and that will clean the pan essentially, and that will add a lot of flavor to your sauce. As always, season as you cook. Now for this, a lot of people use black pepper. For cooking, I prefer white pepper myself. It burns a lot less, and I think it has a better end flavor than black pepper. I only season black pepper like on top of food or right at the end in a salad or on top of the pasta or something. But for cooking, I always prefer to use white pepper. So the chicken, you just leave it to the side. Just let it cool down, let it rest, and later we'll cut it up and add it right at the end of the sauce.
is the chicken fully cooked already?
Not really. It's about 80% cooked. But when you cut it up later and add it in the sauce, the hot pasta sauce will continue to cook it. That's why I'm saying that don't worry about the chicken, whether it's cooked now or not, because when you add it in later, you'll fully cook it anyway. Just make sure that you get a really, really nice color. And like I said, the best way is to season it the night before, and you'll make sure that you get a really, really nice color on it.
Okay. So by seasoning, it's just salt, right?
Yes. When I say seasoning, just salt. And the reason you leave it uncovered in the fridge is to make sure that any excess moisture is basically less moisture you have in the meats, the better it is when you cook it. So here we have some brown smeeji and white smeeji mushroom that we're gonna add now. I mean, Thailand is great for this dish because the mushroom in Thailand is relatively it's not that expensive. You can buy it almost anywhere, and they're really reasonably priced. I always add these a bit later because they're a lot smaller, small surface area. That means that they color a lot faster than the other ones.
So the portion you are cooking is for 2 pack?
This will be around 2 or 3 people. I mean, I thought I was gonna send over to Eddie, but apparently he doesn't want any. So
You can still send some. Why don't you wash the mushrooms?
You should never wash mushroom. I know that probably a lot of people are gonna hate me for this for saying, but like mushroom, they hate water. Honestly, your mushroom should be already cleaned before it goes in the packet. Especially these type of packets. Just don't use the ends. If you just use the tops, I promise you're not gonna die or have food poisoning from it. Okay. A health and safety person would disagree with me, but washing mushroom is probably the worst thing you can do for it. Flavor wise.
Charlie is here. Charlie Jones.
Oh God.
Charlie Quinns.
My nemesis.
He said, "What's up, guys?" Nothing's up, Charlie. Top is trying to cook and he forgot to charge his phone, so we are watching it from this weird angle.
I'm so sorry, guys. All right.
All right. Can you show us the pan, please?
Yes, can. So that's what it looks like now.
Wow. Okay.
Yay, my phone's back on.
Oh, yeah.
Yay! Yeah. So when Top is not in the screen, so let me introduce to everyone my daughter to keep everyone entertained. So what is your name?
Ellie.
Your name is Ellie. Hello, Ellie. How old are you now?
5.
5 years old. What about my son? Can my son come in also? Yes. What about my son? Yeah. My son, what is my son's name?
Noah.
Yes. Hello. How old are you, Noah?
8.
Yes. Are you enjoying watching the live show?
Yes.
Okay. So, Top, how are you with your phone?
Yeah, I'm gonna set it up now.
Come on, man. We're running out of ideas to entertain the people.
It'll be worth it.
Come on, give us some time, patience, everybody.
Okay, I'm in.
It will be worth it. Yeah.
Okay, let me set up the screen.
Top, can you switch the sound off the mobile phone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Ah, okay.
Okay, it's off.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Finally.
Much better now.
Yeah.
So this can go back here. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. After 20 minutes.
The battery at all. All
This
right.
is supposed to be the view.
Yes, this was supposed to be on 20 minutes ago.
All right. So now that you can see the mushroom is a lot of color. This is where the brandy goes in. I mean, I prefer to use brandy because I think it goes really well with mushroom, and also it's half the price of white wine in Thailand. So Regency is good enough for this. It really is.
If I have some leftover XO or cognac, can it work?
Oh, that would be even
ESOP Martel.
yeah. Oh wow, yeah. That's a bit That's even better. If you have that, that'd be
Okay.
great.
Okay. Would white wine work?
White wine work, but it's more expensive. I mean, you can get local brandy. It's not taxed as much, and to cook it, no point. For me, I prefer brandy and mushroom flavor.
Okay.
So you can see now that the pan is completely clean.
Hello, Jamie. Hello, Jamie Duncan. Hi.
So this is when we add the pasta. So from here, it should be about 10 minutes out. Then it goes in.
What is that? You just pour in.
Oil.
Okay.
Okay, and this is when I add the garlic. Now,
Quite a bit, huh?
yep. That was around 3 big cloves of garlic.
Okay. It's coming together now.
Reduce all the alcohol completely. Otherwise, you're left with like a really a weird flavor in the mouth. I mean, when you cook with alcohol, you either do it at the very beginning of your cooking and completely cook it, or you add it right at the very, very end. And this dish, we do both. We cook it out like what we do here now, and then right at the end before we serve it, we just add a few drops, not a lot. When you season the alcohol raw, you make sure you literally play with a few droplets, and then just add another layer of flavor, another complexity of a dish, something that your friends or family would eat and be like, oh, it tastes a bit different than what it normally does. Right now, you go with the milk. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot. Tomatoes first. This one you go with the tomatoes. Like I say, the tomato we use. I use half a tomato in there. It's just to add a bit of acidity to the dish. It's not a tomato-based dish at all. And when you see it come together later, it won't taste. Tomato won't. It's just to bind everything together and add a bit of acidity, some freshness.
Okay, so Andrew asked us whether we are drinking any of the brandy. Andrew Martin, our previous chef at home.
I normally
And,
would. But this one is a bit too cheap. I didn't know whether they were going to sell alcohol today or not. So I had a backup brandy, which is this one, which is my favorite, well, whiskey in the world, actually. I got it in, we were in Taiwan together.
Okay.
The cherry cask. So because I didn't know whether they were going to sell it. So this one I was going to drink it and use it to cook. But then I realized it's probably not a good idea considering that it's 8,000 baht a bottle.
And Jirawan, Miss Jirawan Yucharan is saying hi, Top. Do you know her? Must be your friend.
Ah, yeah. Sure one. Manny mushroom stock?
Yep.
She was actually taking care of me. Both my parents were working on PP, and she took care of me. I think for like a year. She was my birth father's cousin or nephew.
Okay.
Yeah. So like yeah. I was living with her in Krabi.
Oh.
I moved around a lot. I was born in Nakhon Tamarat, and then I lived in PP Island, and then I lived in Krabi, and then I went back to Nakhon Tamarat, and then I was in Bangkok for a bit. Not long, 6 months, I think. And then I came back to Phuket, and then I settled there. So you can go now and add the chicken. So just ice it up. Add it straight in.
What kind of soy sauce do you use for this dish? Is it important?
Yes. The one we'll be using is actually a mixture of Japanese soy sauce and a Thai one. the local boy brand one. But actually no, I take that back. It's not that important which one you use. Just make sure that it's not too salty.
Can you show us the soy sauce that you'll be using?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
So the next step before I add the soy is the important one. So just now that I added the mushroom with the tomato, the mushroom stock with the tomato, you make sure that it's completely dry before adding the soy sauce now. And this way the tomato, like I said, the pectin will come out of the seeds and the juice and it'll start making its own gravy. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it has a little bit of sauce already. The reason being is if you put in any more liquid while the tomato hasn't really completely cooked, it will. It's a weird way of saying this, but it'll taste too tomatoey. You want to make sure that you completely cook out the tomato, and you're left with like a very concentrated tomato flavor. But it's not really tomato; it's like a very sweet and salty concentration before adding the soy.
So Michelle has a question. How can you tell which soy is more salty than others?
Taste it. I mean, you have some soys. You have soys that are you just use the soy that you're familiar with. Use the soy that you normally cook at home with. I mean, in Singapore, a lot of people are going to use kikoman. I mean, some people watching this in Malaysia will have their own soy. Malaysia. Michelle doesn't particularly like the Thai soy, so I don't add too much of that. And yeah, soy sauce is one of those weird ones. It's the same name everywhere, but it's actually very, very different country to country almost. So we're using this one, kikoman less salt.
Can you show it to the other screen?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Yeah. The others, yeah.
Kikoman boy brand. Kikoman less salt. And this isn't really a soy. It's more like a seasoning sauce. Maggi would be a good replacement for this if you don't have it.
Wow, you put so many different ones inside.
Yes, and that's the trick. And this is where you can go a bit crazy. You can add actually 10 different types of soy if you want. Just make sure you don't add too much. But
Okay.
the more different soys you put, honestly, I promise you, it makes a really, really big difference on how this mushroom dish comes out. I used to work for a Japanese chef, and his dashi that he made had about 12 different Japanese soys in it. And
Oh.
at the beginning, I thought he was like just making it up. But really, really, when you go that far, it makes a big difference. And this is something you can play with. Like it's the same with mushroom. You can make this dish with just one type of mushroom, or you want to go all out and show off. You can do it with 10. It'll give different textures, give different flavors. That's it.
True.
Right. So as you can see, there's still water, a lot of water. I don't know if you can see. Make sure that it's completely dry before you add the soy. I'm sure my pasta is done by now.
Mr. Muhammad Zulfadli, my man, what's top cooking?
Zoo was actually a CDP with me in Poland. He was one of my first friends from Singapore, actually. Hi, Zoo. Miss you, bro. So, yeah,
Charlie asked you to do something to go viral.
I don't know who Charlie is.
Charlie Jones.
Someone's calling on my mobile. That's why it's going off. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hello. Oh.
Hey, Wilbur, change the main screen.
Okay, done.
Okay. Okay, everyone, this is.
Hello.
Everyone, this is Chef at Home. It is real. It is live. Okay, so bear with us. Okay. Hey, Top, where are you? Come on, be professional.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Someone keep calling me. So when it's dry like this,
She can't wait.
this is when you add the soy. So I would say for each different soy, don't put more than a tablespoon.
Hi, Michelle. Is your phone coming back? Or are we just like this?
It says already. It says I'm on backstage.
Okay.
But I don't see the screen from the other phone.
No.
No.
Let's try that again. Can you see
Okay,
it now?
if it doesn't work, we push on. Okay.
Can you see it now?
No, it's not in.
I've logged on already.
Not in. No, I don't see you. Wait ah.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. Top, you need to mute it. You need to mute it.
Okay.
So that all of you know this is real and this is not rehearsed and this is live. Okay.
Yeah, we are very real.
Are we almost done?
Yes. Right.
Well,
So,
even though the name sounds simple, right? But looking at the dish, wow.
so you can see the tomato and the soy makes its own glaze. I mean, if you put
Yep.
pasta in here now or eat this with rice, you can, but it's quite salty. So then to make it a real pasta sauce, I add just a bit of milk.
Wow.
The milk dilutes the saltiness, and it gives something for the penne to stick to.
Wow.
And this is where we go a bit weird. We add a bit of cornstarch now to mix the fat of the chicken that's in the sauce, the milk, and it emulsifies everything like a Chinese sauce. Like you would make a Chinese stir fry, and you add a bit of cornstarch right at the end. So that's what makes the dish. So just make sure you check the seasoning, which I will do now.
Don't double dip the spoon, huh?
I won't. I'll make sure. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's perfectly seasoned now. There's a bit of acidity in there. It doesn't taste too much of tomato because we cooked it out completely. And the milk, like I said, the milk dilutes it down. I mean, when you make this yourself, you see what I mean. Because when you reduce the tomato, reduce the mushroom, put in the soy, and then you reduce that further, it gets really, really concentrated. So for me, a bit more pepper, because I love pepper.
For the milk, do we need to use like full cream milk or can we use low-fat milk or what?
Sorry?
For the milk, can we
Yeah.
use like low-fat milk or do we just use the normal milk?
I would
Full cream
use the
milk.
whole farm milk, UHT blue milk that you get in any store. But the reason we add it in is for the fat content.
Okay.
Now, mix it.
Whoa.
So So you can see that it's very wet. So we'll just emulsify that with a bit of cornstarch, not too much.
So you make a slurry. You make a cornstarch slurry.
Yes.
Gou qian. Just like what the Chinese do to all the sticky sauces.
Yes, exactly. So I mean I put cornstarch and a bit of mushroom stock that we have from earlier, and then use that in.
Top, can you do us a favor?
Yes.
After you finish cooking and after we are finished with this live, can you take a very nice photo, as nice as possible, of the dish?
Of course.
Thank you. And send it to us.
Of course. Of course.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I think you sure you don't want the pasta?
No, I don't want. I'll cook it myself. I don't like the Thai healthy boy. I don't like the Thai soy sauce.
You can't really taste it. Like I said.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm from the same place as Michelle, you know, we are from the same place. So, yeah, we have the same views over some things.
So that's essentially it, guys. It doesn't look like much, but you can see that it's really all the penne is covered in the soy. And I know that adding the cornstarch to pasta isn't really something authentic, but for this dish it works really, really well. So it's completely covered in soy reduction, the chicken and the mushroom.
I can put some parsley if I want, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, I can put some parsley in if I want at the end, right?
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna put watercress on top for some bitterness.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, this one is really good for a vegetarian. If you didn't add the chicken in there, it'll still be a very, very flavorful vegetarian dish. Okay, last but not least, the cognac, right at the end. And that's it. Now you can eat.
Michelle, dinner, finally.
There's a comment from Cecile. Can we add fish sauce?
You can. You can. I would recommend it as well. Basically, when you add the soy, you can add any seasoning liquid you want. Be creative. You can add lean parents, which is a sauce. You can add fish sauce. You can play with as many soys as you want. Just make sure you stay with light. Dark soy kind of changes the whole element of the dish. But the more, like I said, the more different seasoning you put in, the more different flavors it will get. Because what you do is you cook it all out. And obviously, it won't be pasta without cheese. So the cheese of my choice to go with this dish is pecorino. The reason I choose pecorino is it's more salty than Parmesan, in my personal opinion. And also, it's cheaper. So we have some watercress.
Wow.
On top. Some local watercress. Watercress really goes well with this dish. And then we have some cheese, which I don't know where I put it. Ah, here it is. So yeah, I'm gonna get a zoom in there.
Yeah.
What? So yeah, this is a very umami pasta. Mushroom.
Wow. So
Chicken.
beautiful.
Thank you. Well, that's it, guys. My easy pasta dish. I mean, there's a lot of areas there that you can really make it your own. I mean, the unique thing is actually just, cooking with milk at the end, using the whiskey 2 different times, adding the cornstarch. That's the only thing that's really unique about this pasta dish compared to other dishes. But apart from that, you can play around. You can use pork. You can just use complete vegetarian, like I said already. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the dish. I'm sure I will. This is super tasty pasta dish.
This is brilliant. I will go find some mushrooms and I'll cook it soon. I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Okay, now we will go through the comments. I think we have some comments from the viewers. Alright, let me scroll a bit up because there's a lot of comments, which is good.
It's like a party, you know. All our old friends partying down in the comments.
Yeah.
In general, I saw a lot of comments asking you to cook for them when they see you.
Really, that's good. That's always nice to hear.
Okay,
And
from Lily, we have a question. If I choose to use chicken breast for this dish, are there any tips for keeping the chicken breast as moist and as tender as possible?
Yes, you pre-salt it. You salt it and you leave it in the fridge overnight. When you I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know, when you eat Thai street food and you have like those barbecue porks that are cooked for a very long time over charcoal, but it's really really moist. And the reason being is because it's marinated overnight, normally in a very light soy and sugar base, a bit of fish sauce, and most importantly, white pepper and salt. And when you season meat prior cooking, what it does is it makes the muscle fibers close down. So imagine every muscle fiber is like a straw. It closes it down after seasoning it, and when you cook it, it releases less moisture. That's essentially the science behind it. But in other terms, the more you pre-season your meat, the more moisture it will get. That's why when they make smoked briskets or things that you cook for a long time, they leave it in brine for days. But when you cook it, the brisket is really moist. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good tip. Alright, I think we don't have any more comments. The rest are really just saying hi to Chef Top.
yeah, top you can scroll through the comments later and you can reply as you wish, okay, to your friends.
Okay, sure.
You have lots of friends in saying hi to you and supporting this live.
My mother just private messaged me. You put soy sauce in pasta? Question mark, question mark. Hi,
Really?
Mom. Yeah.
Mhm.
I knew she would say that. She'd be like, what is wrong with you?
So I think we will go to the end of the. We will just close the show. Yes.
Okay.
So don't forget to take a nice photo of your dish for us later.
Yep, we'll do.
Yep. And any last words for everyone still watching?
No, thank you for tuning in. Really sorry about the phone running out of battery. That was really, really unexpected. My phone never does that. I don't know why today out of all days. Yeah, I really do hope you guys. I mean, essentially, my aim is to make sure that you guys get cooking. That's the most important thing. Don't be afraid. It takes practice. Nothing is precise when it comes to cooking. Just try everything, and everyone has a different palate. All I'm doing is essentially giving you tips and tools to make it your own. Like I said, this dish is a very good one to start because it's quite unique. I'm not showing you how to make bolognese or carbonara. It's something that doesn't have its own name. But the good thing about it is like you can't go wrong with it. If you give it to friends or family or even your partner to try for the first time, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, this is not that thing." There's no thing that it is. It's just a pasta dish.
Hey, David is watching. Hey, say hi to David. David Okamoto in the US.
David!
Wow.
Cookies!
Wow. So we have Singapore. We have Singapore. We have Thailand. We have USA. We have the UK at least here now. Incredible.
And Malaysia. You put Malaysia
Yeah,
in
for
that?
sure. Malaysia for sure. But
Yeah.
Malaysia. Yeah.
Good.
Incredible. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Bye, Top.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Chef at Home with Chef Talk. Do stay tuned if you love this episode. We have another episode coming on Sunday. All right. Here are the details. Okay, so we will be having Chef Noom. So Chef Noom is the owner of an influential restaurant called Samway and Sons, and is located in Udon Thani, which is at Isan, the northeastern region of Thailand. So don't forget to join us. I have actually created an event, which will automatically give you a reminder, so you can just check out the link at our Facebook page later. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we see you on Sunday at 9 p.m. Singapore time and 8 p.m. Thailand time. All right. See you. Thank you. Stay safe and stay at home. Bye bye.